When a man hears strange noises from the locked basement, during a job interview, he threatens the HR staff to let him investigate, and the other party opens the door. Facing 3 ferocious zombies, the man hurriedly explains he's here for a job. Unexpectedly, the zombies actually spare his life, but others aren't so lucky.
What? Young lady?
Why are zombies hiring ordinary humans? It all starts a few days ago. A girl drives to a gas station, complains about getting her period at this time, and rushes into the restroom to clean up. Perhaps the strong smell of blood attracts a perverted peeper. The girl wants to swear at him, but his fangs scare her back. Why are there zombies? Before she can figure it out, the zombie violently tears down the restroom door, and rushes forward to have a buffet at an auto repair shop. The boss feels too bored after eating and drinking, so he wants to entertain an employee to liven up the atmosphere. So he goes behind Jack, who is busy working, and praises him for his hard work recently, but he changes the subject and says there's not much business lately, so Jack is fired. Jack asks, "I'm the only employee in the whole repair shop. Who will fix the cars if I leave?"
Are you gonna fix them? You can't even get under them!
Unexpectedly, the boss is so arbitrary, Jack demands the unpaid wages, and the boss reluctantly hands over the money, saying he'll call Jack back when business improves. The boss's calculation is so obvious that Jack leaves angrily. Thinking about the few dollars in his hand, he goes to the bar in a depressed mood. He sees his old friend Carter, and the 2 beautiful women sitting next to him. Jack is really worried about his friend, but Carter doesn't forget his brother, and wants to introduce the beauties to him, but before he can speak, Jack's girlfriend Anna, who works in the bar, rushes up, and the 2 go aside to whisper. Anna asks her boyfriend why he's here. Jack complains that he worked hard in the repair shop but was fired. That fat guy must have eaten too much chocolate, blocking his brain. With such a boss, the repair shop will close sooner or later. Just then, another man goes into the bar, and tries to charm the beautiful women at the bar. Carter doesn't want to be outdone, so a fierce quarrel breaks out between them. Jack goes to help but gets punched. He wants to take revenge right away, but Carter drags him out. Anna wants to go out to check, but the bar owner says he'll fire her if she leaves.
Trailer trash.
Now that both Anna and Jack are out of work, but they need money to survive, so they hurry home to pack their luggage. Hearing the landlord come to urge them to pay the rent, they run away without wanting to pay. Judging by their proficiency, they must have done this before. The man from the bar is ready to take 2 girls home. On the way, the car runs out of gas, so they come to a gas station. The boss is the fat man who fired Jack earlier. Unexpectedly, this guy has other side jobs, but the fat man puts down his work and goes into the house. When he sees the lights in the house flickering, at this time, the 2 girls get off the car to go to the bathroom, because they need to pee. Unexpectedly, as soon as they leave, at the same time, the fat man sees a girl standing facing the wall, as if reflecting on her mistakes, so he asks if she needs help. The girl roars. At this point, Jack and his girlfriend are already on the road to escape poverty, thinking of moving to another town. Although the 2 have been living a nomadic life, Jack still wants to marry his girlfriend as soon as possible, but Anna thinks he must be crazy. Not only are they poor, but they still don't have a fixed residence. The police come to the gas station after receiving a report, and find the fat man's body in the house. Strangely, there is no blood at all in the whole house. Even the experienced forensic doctor frowns. She says the food in the house is intact, but the deceased has lost all his blood. She can't imagine what animal can do this. 2 forest rangers set up a tent to rest. When they see it's getting late, after a half-minute battle, the exhausted man goes out of the tent to use the toilet. Then the man dies. The woman, who doesn't know, asks why he is sleeping outside. Finally, both of them die. The next day, Jack and Anna wake up from a coma, and discuss what they hit last night. Seeing a piece of torn clothing hanging on the car, they worry that they might have hit someone, but after searching for a long time, they don't see any other living things nearby. At this time, a road sign on the ground catches Jack's attention. He finds that there is a car park ahead, and wants to go ahead to see the situation. But when they arrive, they find that there is no signal at all. It seems to have been deserted for a long time, so they wander around for a while. He is held at gunpoint by a man who rushes out. Jack is so scared that he quickly says they have no ill intention, just want to see if there is anyone injured. In a car accident nearby, he also says that they're going to other towns to find jobs, but now they seem to be lost. The other party initially wants them to leave quickly, but after thinking again, he says his name is Wade, there is exactly a maintenance job here, and they can stay if they want to do it. Jack says excitedly that he happens to be able to do this, and then the two follow him into the house. Wade explains the precautions for living here, that is, never go out at night. Anna asks Wade why he always holds a gun, and doesn't allow them to go out at night. Is there a terrible carnivore in the park? The other party replies that it's almost like that. In short, it's always right to listen to him. Then he shows them the room that has been idle for a long time. Anna is easy to support. She says it's at least better than a broken Jeep, and runs to wash. Jack asks Wade about the origin of the park. The other party says that this place once belonged to his wife's brother. His wife's brother had a happy family, and his wife was gentle and virtuous, but when saying these words, Wade's expression is very solemn. After that, he explains again that they can't go out at night, and must never let anyone in, and the basement and attic are locked. Never go to places you shouldn't. Then Wade takes Jack out for a walk. Jack is excited to see the RVs parked outside at first, until Wade looks at the unburned bones on the ground and says, this person died because he ran too. Slowly, unexpectedly, someone died here. Jack loudly asks Wade what he's hiding. The other party opens the door of the nearby RV. Jack collapses and asks Wade for an explanation. The other party no longer hides it. He says his wife's brother is actually locked in the basement. He's a zombie who likes to suck blood, or a vampire zombie, and now it's too late for Jack to run, because from the first step he and Anna took into the park, the zombie has smelled him. That's why Wade took them in. If they try to escape, the zombie will chase them to the ends of the earth. This is too ridiculous. Jack runs back and tells his girlfriend the whole story, but both think Wade is joking. Maybe the people in the RV are just role-playing. Wade opens the attic door and calls his daughter Lily's name. And this Lily is the zombie who appeared at the gas station earlier. Unexpectedly, she can talk to Wade normally. Is this the charm of vampire zombies? Wade first explains about Jack and Anna. As for why he kept them, it's because Wade is afraid that if he's not around one day, no one will protect his beloved daughter. So what he has to do now is find someone trustworthy. After explaining, he happens to meet Jack who is going out, but Wade hides the matter of Lily. In the middle of the night, Jack wakes up from his sleep and goes out to check. When he hears a sound outside, he follows the sound.
What you doing, boy?
Wade warns Jack to follow the rules and tells him to go back to his room to sleep right away. Carter hooks up with another beauty, and is eager to make a move on the street, but when the beauty looks aside, she finds someone else there, a little girl, and wants to go forward to ask if she needs help.
Alright, hey.
The next day, the town police are so worried that they haven't eaten for 2 days, just because it was restless again last night. Luckily, one of the victims this time isn't completely dead, and is urgently sent to the hospital after being found, but they really can't figure out what is disturbing the town. At this time, the forensic doctor gives her speculation, thinking that the culprit should be a vampire. After all, every victim has their blood sucked at night, and the reason why Carter survives by chance is that he is wearing a cross necklace. But everyone present bursts into laughter, thinking this is completely unfounded nonsense. The forensic doctor says, believe it or not, but I still need to remind you that there should be more than one vampire. But the sheriff doesn't believe any of this. He finds the owner of the town bar to ask about Carter, and somehow the conversation turns to Jack. The bar owner reminds the sheriff to pay attention to Jack, who once worked under the fat man. At the same time, Jack and Anna pack their luggage and prepare to run away. After all, Wade's various behaviors are more or less strange. But before leaving, Jack wants to see what secrets are hidden in the attic and basement, thinking that the key should be in Wade's room. They prepare to go in and search. Luckily, the other party goes out on patrol every morning, but after successfully getting the key, the two still wait for Wade to come back. Before making everything clear, Jack even takes the gun on the table as he speaks, saying that the matter of vampire zombies is too outrageous, and suspecting that Wade is secretly doing something harmful. The other party asks the two to follow him, and then opens the door to the basement. Jack and Anna really have gone into a den of thieves. The wife's brother asks them why they came in. Lily answers right away, thinking that her father let them in. The aunt beside her says, is it just to satisfy curiosity, in order to save his life? Jack hurriedly says that they completely believe it now, and promise to obey and stay in the park in the future. Carter wakes up from the coma, and the sheriff hurriedly asks what the attacker was. Carter says it didn't seem to be human. It had the body of a little girl but terrifying fangs, and it felt like it had been dead for a long time. After hearing what Carter said, the forensic doctor thinks there's no need to continue asking, and the killer must be a vampire, but the sheriff still doesn't believe it, and says that his investigation has made progress. Suspecting that Jack is behind everything, he deliberately retaliated against his former boss, and even killed his good brother. Besides, if they really closed the case with a vampire, how can they, the police, show their faces? The spit of the town residents can drown them. After all, this reason clearly shows that they don't want to solve the case properly. At the same time, Jack and Anna have left the basement alive. Anna doesn't understand how Lily and the others became like this. Wade says that the wife's brother was the first to be attacked not long ago, and no one knows where that thing came from. It turns out that 20 years ago, Lily and her aunt went to the warehouse to get things, but they came across the woman who had killed their puppy. The two were so frightened that they shouted for help, and Wade and the others hurried over to check the situation. Upon hearing the sound, the wife's brother became the first prey of the zombie, and he ran out of the warehouse in pain. Unexpectedly, when the zombie was exposed to the sun, it was instantly burned to ashes by flames. At this time, the aunt stepped forward to check her husband's condition. They started discussing what the woman on the ground was. Wade thought she must have had flammable materials on her, never considering she might be a vampire zombie, then ran to get a first aid kit, but when he returned to the warehouse, he found his daughter and aunt had mutated. Although all three could still think clearly, they couldn't stay hungry, so they went to a nearby town for a feast. Everyone bitten completed the transformation, expanding the vampire zombie family. Wade's eyes filled with tears as he said his daughter is now 30, but after transformation, her growth has slowed drastically. Maybe she's gained the eternal lifespan of a vampire. Now that he's over 60 and will die eventually, he wants to find a new bodyguard for his daughter, and this task falls to Jack and Anna. That night, Anna complains that her boyfriend dragged her into this abyss. Jack hurries to comfort her, saying they'll be free if they escape, but Anna says the monsters are too terrifying. They might really chase them to the ends of the earth. Just then, Wade calls them out, warning that if they don't hurry, his brother-in-law will come fetch them personally. The two follow him outside, only to find a large group of zombies gathered. Wade tells them to stay put, but the zombies show obvious dislike for the newcomers. The brother-in-law says, "We need a normal human for protection. We're too vulnerable in the daytime, and Wade will die eventually." But another zombie complains, "If he hadn't transformed us, we wouldn't be living in the shadows." The brother-in-law replies that he didn't choose this either. He just wanted to survive. "If you keep complaining, feel free to leave the park and fend for yourselves." At this, the lead zombie Billy right away takes his wife and others to leave. Sitting at the dining table, Jack is still in shock, trembling as he says, "I can't believe those mobile zombies are both alive and dead. They have lungs but don't need to breathe." Wade adds, "They need to drink blood. Without it, they become very violent, losing all reason to kill wildly." But to be fair, there are benefits to transformation. Lily's senses have increased 1,000-fold. The next day, the police gather to discuss recent cases. The sheriff says the forensic doctor has insights, and asks her to share. The forensic doctor mentions her vampire theory, causing laughter. They think she's read too many comics. The sheriff silences them, "With frequent murders in town, we need to avoid unnecessary panic." He orders everyone to keep quiet. Carter is woken by footsteps and finds his enemy at the door, but he can't understand why they've also become like this. At the same time, Jack is on patrol and hears a faint cry under a car. He finds a zombie hiding there, clearly in pain, begging Jack to kill them. Jack complies, pulling the zombie into the sunlight. Jack feels his heart can't take it anymore. He runs back to take his girlfriend away, saying they can just run far away, even to another country for a new life. But Anna thinks it's unreliable. "If they find us running, we'll be turned into zombies on the spot. I don't want to become that ugly thing." Jack can only say he'll go back to town for help, and promises to save Anna. So the next day, Anna helps Jack escape the park. When Wade wakes up for patrol, he finds the burned corpse outside, and Jack is long gone. Wade realizes something terrible has happened. Worst of all, the dead woman is Billy's wife. Now, the zombie horde starts to move. Learning Jack escaped, the brother-in-law confronts Wade. "The chosen one ran away. How will I face the zombie legion now?" Jack is still driving away, trying to call Carter for help, but no one answers. he leaves a message explaining the situation, parks at the bar, and goes in to ask the owner about Carter. The owner tells him everything, then whispers, "The sheriff has wanted you for killing your former boss out of revenge." Jack hurries to explain, "I didn't even know the fat man died." The owner replies, "I can't help you. Better go explain to the sheriff now." But as soon as Jack goes out, he's arrested by police and thrown into a squad car, without a chance to argue. Two police officers see the terrifying zombies and abandon Jack to flee, though it's all in vain. After dealing with the police, the brother-in-law asks why Jack abandoned Anna. Jack says, "My escape had nothing to do with Anna. It was all my idea." The brother-in-law replies, "Then go back to the park now, or Anna dies." Jack has no choice but to get in the car. Funny enough, the car runs out of gas. He calls the police as a last resort, but the result is disappointing. Jack steals an old man's car, rushes to the hospital and finds his friend dead. The forensic doctor is examining the body. A witness says, there seemed to be someone else in the ward. Carter was pushed off the building, and the killer stabbed him again to make sure. The brother-in-law breaks a man's neck, then tells Lily to eat quickly, warning, the sun's coming up. By now, Jack has raced back to the park. Wade sees him shoot the car several times and warns, "No more mistakes, obey if you want to save Anna." Jack is then taken to the basement. Seeing Anna curled up on the ground trembling, he rushes forward and hugs her tightly. Jack is then taken out to handle a tricky matter. It turns out that Billy has returned with men, demanding an explanation for his wife's death, and asking Wade why he killed her. Wade explains it was her own request, but the other party refuses to listen and kills Wade with one move. Jack quickly pulls out a gun to avenge Wade. After killing one of Billy's henchmen, the battle doesn't end up breaking out. Shortly after, Wade's body is moved into the house. Since he died from a claw slashing his carotid artery, there's no chance for him to transform into a zombie, so Jack decides to bury the body at dawn. After what just happened, he thinks it's too dangerous here, and decides to find another chance to escape, and seek help from the sheriff at the police station. Moreover, since Wade, the only one who could move during the day, is also dead, this is the best opportunity. But Anna says zombies have noses more sensitive than dogs, so someone must stay here to confuse them. Jack thinks it makes sense, and tells Anna to make sure to protect herself. The next day, Jack buries Wade. After all, it was thanks to him that Jack escaped this disaster. After that, he leaves the gun to his girlfriend, uses the parts from the car Wade damaged last night, to repair the car that has been scrapped in the warehouse for years, and successfully finds the key in an RV. The brother-in-law slowly approaches Anna. Anna is so frightened that she hurries to the window. At the same time, several more people die in succession. Jack goes to the police station to explain the situation, and the sheriff finally believes in the existence of vampires, so he takes the police to the church to seek help from the priest, then gets on a bus and heads for the car park. Successfully arriving at the destination before dark, the sheriff yells that all zombies should be burned to death. Then the zombies are burned to ashes by the flames, and Jack successfully reunites with Anna, making the brother-in-law who saw everything so angry, that he prepares to escape with a cloth to block the sun. The aunt wants to go with him, but the brother-in-law, who has suffered betrayal, has learned to be smart, and says he won't believe anyone in the future. When the aunt hears this, she recites the wedding vows, saying they won't be separated even in death. At this time, the police have dealt with the zombies outside, and Jack reminds them that there are 3 more in the basement of the house, but they are much fiercer than the ones outside. But before the police can act, internal conflicts arise in the basement. After the brother-in-law leaves, the only 2 remaining zombies start to blame each other. Lily sends the aunt to hell, and when the police arrive, they find that except for a woman skeleton outside, there are no other zombies. Lily has been hiding in the dark, but luckily, Jack is cautious enough to go in with a gun and kill her. The sheriff and others come to the warehouse, thinking there may be some zombies that got away. The zombies hiding in the dark launch an attack on everyone, and the zombie on the ground actually comes back to life after being shot, successfully killing the police officer who shot it. Other police officers avenge their colleague right away, and the forensic doctor quickly takes out garlic to attack, which actually works. But just then, thinking everything was over, the forensic doctor leaves first, and the sheriff stays to do the finishing work. After a while, Jack and Anna also come to the warehouse. Thinking they must find the brother-in-law, they don't want to spend the rest of their lives in fear. At this time, Anna sees a piece of cloth on the ground. The police outside rush in upon hearing the noise. The brother-in-law flees in panic as officers open fire wildly. When the cloth on his head is shot through, his back bursts into flames. Jack is sobbing while holding his girlfriend, only to see Anna, who was bitten, open her eyes. 3 months later, the sheriff drives into the car park, exchanges brief greetings, and leaves. A car speeds down the highway, revealing the brother-in-law is still alive. Another bloodbath is likely coming. The film ends here. After watching, I have to complain. First, the zombie-vampire hybrid sounds cool, but its strengths and flaws are too obvious. In recent years, movie vampires have long shed their sunlight weakness. This hybrid not only has weak overall strength, but clings to the fatal sunlight phobia. It's like inheriting the worst of both species. Besides, the film can't even be bothered to explain the first zombie's origin. Characters just say "I don't know" in dialogue. Thankfully, Wade is well portrayed as the park keeper. He's a tragedy incarnate. His daughter Lily became a vampire as a child, forever stuck in a child's body. To protect her, he colludes with vampires, his humanity twisted between threat and guardianship. His eyes gleam like a trapped beast when facing vampires, yet turn awkwardly gentle when looking at Lily. The actor nails this conflict, but Wade meets a tragic end. Some may say Wade was selfish for trapping the leads, but his original intent was to save their lives. The leads likely hit a zombie while fleeing, inviting revenge, and they returned voluntarily the next day. They might have died without Wade's help. Moreover, Wade saved the male lead from dying that night. When the female lead becomes a zombie, the male lead makes the same choice as Wade did. This makes Wade, the despair-twisted tragic father, even more pitiful. If you like my channel, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to it.